Andy Burnham is elected Prime Minister, or not elected, but he's made Prime Minister early on in the week. And now he's done his first full 5 days, Monday through Friday. And you know what? Like I said, suffice to say, I'm quite pleased. I'm quite surprised, I guess you could say, because I think he's done quite a good job. I don't think he's done a fantastic job, but I think it's surprising for a person in government in the UK to actually be liked, right? And it seems like, we already discussed on the show before, and by the way, I'm not a huge fan of Andy Burnham. I've seen him about, he's my previous college, he was there all the time, and people liked him. I always thought he's a bit plain, a bit basic, but I think when you have someone like Keir who is so bad, right, and who is so wooden and robotic, when you have someone like Andy Burnham who is actually a bit more charming, right, a bit more likable, a bit more characterful, a bit more of a character than, say, Keir Starmer, right? It's quite surprising, and I think people are kind of gelling with him a little bit. And more so than just that, he does his speech. I'm quite impressed with the speech. He does it with no teleprompter, no notes, nothing, right? Not even a stand, okay? And he stands there and he speaks to the crowd and he does all of this. And by the way, that should be the standard. The standard should be no notes. If we have all of these, I'm not going to say myself, but if we have all of these podcasters and guys with shows on the internet, independent media, and they're able to do these shows and these podcasts without notes, then why? Shouldn't the people we elect into office be much better than that? And yet they can't even say a sentence without making errors or anything. They need a script. Like what are we doing here? So I guess that's good from that angle. I'm quite impressed there. Quite a good speech. He says he's going to end rough sleeping, which by the way is just a claim. So he'll say, oh, I'm going to do this, and that. Hasn't happened yet, okay? But he's claiming he's going to end rough sleeping. But more so than just that, what does he actually do? In his first week, he implements a 20% business cut on pubs, on clubs, on music venues. And I guess that's good for hospitality in a sense, so people are liking him for that. He also, the £2 bus fare that he introduced in Manchester, he is now saying that he's going to implement that across the entire UK, right? All areas, all cities, all towns, everyone's going to have a £2 bus fare cap, right? I guess also quite good, I guess. It all sort of accumulates into one, and people are seeing that if this is just the first week, what have we got? What have we got laid ahead? And then lastly, he also does a electricity cut also. So he brings VAT from 5% to 0%. So essentially slashes VAT on energy bills. I think that's quite good. I've read the numbers. Apparently, it doesn't really save the average household much, like £50 a year, which isn't even, I don't even think, much really in the grand scheme of things, of course. But I guess he's trying, right? He's making a concerted effort in a sense. But more so than that, I think what I'm impressed with by Burnham here is that and also actually before we get onto closing thoughts, he does on Friday the first day of number 10 North, right? Which is something he said he would do when he was facing leadership contests in the Labour Party. He said he was going to do number 10 North, and he's going to open it up, and it's going to be the Manchester version of number 10. And I was like, okay, that's a pretty good idea, right? And not even a week passes, right? Day 5, and he's got it open, and he's there in Manchester, and he holds a meeting there, a government meeting. I think the public reception of this is quite good. I think to see things happening fast in government is, we're not used to it, right? And not even if we look elsewhere. in the United States. We're not used to things happening fast. And for him to have opened it this quick, and by the way, it's not that big of a deal because they're actually using a temporary location. I think it's a GCHQ facility, or near a GCHQ facility. So it's like they've got the security there to be able to hold these sort of discussions which need a good level of security. So he opens it in a temporary location, right, which I think is on Lloyd Street in Manchester City Centre, and he's planning to move it to Ancoats when it is built, right? So I think that's going to be in 2032. So that's what we're used to in the UK, this type of time delay. But I guess, you know, face value, it's about getting the public rallying behind you, and it seems like the public at the moment are starting to rally behind Burnham, are starting to like him. He hasn't even brought up immigration once, and that is just making the dumb far right seethe as a result. And they're angry. Oh, he hasn't brought... Nigel Farage is like, because obviously he's running in Clacton, running for the by-election in Clacton again. He's saying, you know, Andy Burnham hasn't brought up immigration once. The UK is starting to get sick of the immigration thing, right? Yeah, granted, you know, we discussed it and net migration's down. We discussed it in the past. Yeah. But they're sick of it. You know, when that quote, "It's the economy, stupid," that's kind of what Andy Burnham is focusing on, and that's a good thing, right? He's focusing in on the economy, and that's fantastic, right? So he needs to keep doing that, and I think he'll have a real shot at being up there in terms of the 21st century. I mean, he could be the best since Blair, right? I mean, there's not much competition, but it seems like his first week he's done excellent. If he continues this, then I mean, this is a massive statement. 2029 comes, because I don't think there's going to be any snap election. I could see Labour winning in 2029. You've got to think about it like this. We had 14 years of Conservative governance. It's going to be now Labour for as long as from 24 to 29, that's 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised if we look at the history of Labour Conservative split. I mean, 2029, obviously we would all say right now, if there's an election right now, Labour wouldn't win, but I think there's definitely a strong argument to be made that Labour could stand a very good chance in 2029 if Burnham keeps this up. Like we've said on the show when he ran in Makerfield, okay? He is, well, the polls say he is the most popular politician in the UK right now. The most popular. That's what the polls say. He's got the best approval rating, right? So I think if he keeps this up, he could have a good chance in 2029. The Labour Party could have a good chance of, I guess, sustaining the majority. I think it'll probably go down, but, you know, just getting a majority, getting back into government, and then they'll do another 5 years. And then maybe after that, as to what I would want, you know, I've floated around, I've been saying now for quite some time, a Conservative reform coalition. I don't think Conservative obviously have the popularity that they once had, so I don't think they probably could get enough to get a majority. Reform is popular right now, so I think it could be maybe Reform with the most, and then them joining up with the Conservatives to do coalition, maybe the opposite. Whatever happens, we'll see, right? But I've been floating that around for a few years now. But if Burnham keeps this up, perhaps we could see Labour winning in 2029, which is not something I thought I'd be saying, but, you know, there you go.